Hello, guys. I'm back. This time, my old friend. Haven't seen one of these in a while, but it's always the same problem with the PS5 for the most part. Once in a while, I get a special one, but uh, yeah, let's have a look at it. There's not really much point in plugging it in. It's kind of hard to see because it's not actually busted the regular way. Let's see if I can get it. Let's see if this stupid camera will focus for us today. You kind of see it there. Anyway, we do have a one busted HDMI port, and I'm just going to grab it with a set of tweezers and see what the deal is here. So it seems to be like everything like with it looks fairly normal. Let's get right on in there and see if we can get a little closer here. So you can see that it's pretty straight, right? Like usually they're broken. You can see kind of not grabbing that very hard. I'm able to move the port. And this lower piece here, down here, is like really badly bent down. It's almost like, and it's probably what happened is the HDMI port didn't go side to side, which is what we usually see. The cord gets yanked one way or another. That's what cracks the connector. This one went up and down, and it looks like it went down quite a bit based on that denting that's underneath there. So yeah, bottom line is we got an HDMI connector to do. So it does look like this one has never been opened. I don't really see, maybe it has been. It's kind of lifted up on the edge there, but there's no, I don't know. I think that was just done by the factory. It was just kind of a sloppy job. You know what I mean? It's a different, kind of comes up on the edge, but anyways, it doesn't look like this thing has been opened. She's a virgin. All right. Oh, I'm just gonna give this a little warm up. Console looks pretty clean. It's a little dusty, but looks like pretty much regular wear and tear. Oh, this one is, I think, a lost cause, but anyway. There we go. That's off. Apparently I haven't done that in a while. It was kind of rough. It doesn't matter. I mean, we try and do our best, but even the best aren't the best all the time. So there we go. We're in. Basically, it's just time to rip all the screws out of this thing. This looks like an original Xbox. My goodness. Sorry, PS5 fans. This looks like a first version PlayStation 5, just based off of. Holy smokes, that's the first time I've ever seen one. What do we got now? Eh? This guy's got an SSD in here. Alright, cool. Honestly, I think if you have a PS5, you should have an SSD in your. Let's get going here. start with the fan. Okay. Oh yeah, that hasn't come out there. It's gonna need a good little dusting. That'll be later. Probably won't do that all on camera. I'm just gonna do the HDMI, because I mean, who wants to watch me clean a PS5 console? I mean, if you do, you just go ahead and post it down below. Let me know. I mean, I can do that too. Alright, we're into the first level here. So the first thing I like to do is just undo the Wi-Fi's. Like so. Pull this guy out like that. These guys you can unplug. The next step is going to be to get the disk drive out. So to do the disk drive, you just push down and pull, nice and gentle. This one you actually pull out. And then pull. I don't actually usually take this cable off just to keep this intact. Some people take it off, some people don't. Okay, so we're done with this disk drive. This is going to go somewhere. Annoying. Okay, anyways, let's rock and roll here. Oh, let's grab this one too. I usually pop this connector off. As I go, I kind of just take the top layers apart, and then that's kind of how I reassemble as well. So let's go with this. We're down. Just looking inside. Yeah, I'm gonna be able to clean that out just from in here. I'm not gonna have to tear the other side apart. If they're really bad, I do, but if they're not like super clogged, I don't bother. There's no point, because you can usually get a good 90%. So for this, I generally use a plastic spudger, and I just try and get where it's tight and just try and pry up. The edges are fairly safe to pry from, within reason. Don't go totally crazy with it, but the edges are, generally speaking, they're not bad. So bear with me with this stupid auto exposure here. Once we get this off of here, it'll go away. Seems to be something with these metal surfaces. Okay, so that's it. So we've got some stuff here. I usually just set this off to the side, just kind of out of my way, so it's good to go. So, okay, so basically now I've got the main board exposed. And the next thing is we are pretty much done with this. I do not use the electric screwdriver for reassembly, so there's just too much chance of cross-threading stuff. It's a bad idea. Okay, so the main board is much the same. I usually start from this back edge here. Oh, yeah, got to get this connector. Just press down and pull from, I just pull from the sponge, and it'll come right out of there. Boom, that's done. Okay, and then main board is the same. Grab your spudger. Just work it gently. Generally speaking, once it lets go, it's the power that's holding this in. There's a little plug here, right over here. That's where it holds it. So we want to pop this over here. Okay, and then it's going to come out, and we're going to see our main board. Bingo bango. Alright. Okay, so board is out under microscope. Let's have a look and see what is going on here. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, the mom and the son dropped this off, and the son didn't want to say, he didn't say anything. You could tell he was holding this thing like it was his prized possession baby. But let's have a look here. I can already tell the connector's been pushed. So this is another thing we see a lot of. What happens is the entire plastic inside, whoa, here, in here, gets pushed this way, that way. And what ends up happening, you can see the bent pieces of metal there on the brackets. The whole piece of plastic moves, and the pins, well, you can see they're not looking so good. So basically what we're going to have to do, obviously, is get this bad boy off of here. So this is a PS5. I will put some flux down. You know what? Maybe I'll just do it. I'll do it the easier way, so I don't have to put so much heat on the board. Not easier, just it lets it go a lot simpler. So let's just get that kind of into position there. I'm gonna grab my iron, and we are gonna go for oh my god, I have to refill one of my flux tubes. I'm getting, well, it's almost gone. Okay, so we'll use this one. Okay, so the big thing here is you saw the cap right there. The goal is not to touch the cap. That is the goal. What you're going to want here is quite a bit of heat. PS5 board it does the business. So I'm at 400. I'm going to go up to 425, which is more than enough for what we're going to do here. Again, remember what I said about the cap. The goal is not to touch the cap. So all I'm doing here is flooding with leaded solder, so when I hit this all with the air, it should melt easier. Okay, because I'm mixing leaded solder with unleaded. There we go. Okay, so the next step is going to be bringing in the hot air. Okay. This little sticky off here, you don't need it. You don't really need to put it back either. Doesn't really do anything. But you do definitely don't want it on there while you're doing this. Okay. The max setting, and what we're going to start with is you're just going to go over. I'm going to kind of give a vicinity shot here first. You're not going to go for the connector right away. You want to kind of heat the board up a little bit before you start really putting heat into the connector itself. But gradually you're going to want to work closer and closer to the connector. And just keep the heat over it. And eventually, it will fall off. There it goes. Looking very good. As you can see, there are no pulled pads. The capacitor is still on there, and you can't really see it, but I can notice the board didn't get so hot that it actually stains the ground plane, which is exactly what you're aiming to do. The less amount of heat that you can put on a board, the better. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go through here and put more leaded solder on. And we're going to just kind of keep going through this, get this cleaned up. No, we have a victim. It's not good. This part did take quite a bit of impact, so that's not all that surprising. Looks like we got one torn trace. Yeah, that's what'll happen. Exactly that. Okay, whatever. Fine. That's what happens. We only have a couple tries. If you don't get it, it'll just break. That's why I wanted to take it the way it was, but this is actually better. I can do a better job.
Take a step back. Take a step back. Take a step back. take a step back, 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 take a step back, 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 take
Okay, now we're going to cure it. Okay, that should be cured. Give it a little bit longer. Okay, so the reason why I do it this way is because now once this is secured, it's going to be 100%. It will not move. So we'll have a nice solid leg to attach to, and what I do is I just take my X-Acto and I'll just give it a little scratch like this. Just take off the top layer and you can kind of like flatten out the wire, so to speak. So there it is. That's pretty much ready to go. Let's throw that. Okay. There is our signal wire. Looks good. Should contact just fine. Okay, so next is basically putting some fresh solder onto that. Lay this down. Alrighty. Am I gonna get lucky today? Let's see. Turn this down. Yeah, that'll work. 365. Put a solder on here. Get rid of any crap that's on there. I really got to get a new. I got to get me a new one of them cleaner tippy things. All right, here we go. Come on, baby. Oh yeah. Sweet. One shot. Okay, the reason why you do that is it just helps when you're putting this down. You're going to have a little bit of solder on top of the pins, and you're going to have a little bit of solder on the pads. And a combination of both of those together is the winner. Again, to start, we're going to want to heat the board first, and then connector. I'm just switching hands. to start to get a little bit closer here. What you're looking for is right there. You see how the sides dip down? Right there. That means it's ready. The first thing I like to do is just place it. Okay? And I let it cool down just a tad. And I put my wires back here, and then I come back in. And that's it. Hold. Alrighty, let's have a look. I'll push. That one's gonna move because I'm an idiot. Good, tough, 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 tough. Ooh, that pad's loose too. That's okay though. Tough, 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 and tough. Okay, good. So a couple of those ground pads look like they got a little bit shaky. Guy really hit it hard. All right, so we've got that done now. One last check that I like to do just to make sure everything's good, and everybody should be doing this, is it's really cheap. All you need is a breakout board from Amazon. They don't cost a whole lot. They're actually quite reasonable. And all we're going to do is a quick diode check on all the pins. I mean, you can do this from the back if you really want, but it's a lot simpler if you had a breakout board. They're, honestly, guys, they're cheap. They're not expensive at all. Okay, so there's that. And then I need my book. I think I told you guys last time that I have a secret book. What's in that book, you ask? This is the electronics cheat sheet. Okay, so what we're going to look for in here is not PS4 Slim, PS5 HDMI, known good. Okay, so these are diode check readings. You're going to notice 2 is going to be wrong because there's no ground there anymore. I think it was 5 that was loose, so we've got 2 grounds that were impacted pretty bad by that damage that happened to the port. So 0.83 is kind of my target through the pins, but you're not going to get that every single time at every single board. You just need it to be close. So we're in diode check right now, and I'm going to quickly go through 1.82. 2 is going to be OL. Yes, we know. 3.8, 4.8, 5, ground, 6.8, 7.8, 8, ground, 9.8, and flipping onto the other side here, 10.8, 11, ground, 12 is 0.8, 13.7, and we do get some lower values on these other ones. These are the ones that are low inherently, so you get a little bit lower reading. Okay, so that's am I on 13? 14 is going to be OL, yes. 15.7, 16.7. 17 is ground. 18. Liquid metal back. So we're going to go backwards steps now. Okay, we're going to grab the liquid metal that we sucked off the board. Now we're going to put it back on. Okay, try and put the same amount on. You don't need to go nuts. That's ready for the main board, but we still got to spread the liquid metal on the main board, so we'll just do the exact same thing we did there. There's actually quite a bit of liquid metal on that other side. That's why there's not as much on the die. Yeah, this is looking pretty good, actually. Just gonna get a different Q-tip. That one had some gross on it. Okay, well, once that's all spread, it kind of looks like a mirror once you're done. You can go ahead and put this bad boy back on. Oh, flipper, like so. Everything's good. Everything looks good. Sure, cables are out of the way. Oh, I'm not showing you. All right, guys. And gently press that bit. This corner is going to sit into the power supply, so you have to kind of give it a little bit of an extra push. Okay, so let's get this thing out a little bit here. Get this into the shot. Okay. Sweet. So, yeah, let's get rid of the junk. So we've got one dead HDMI and a bunch of gross ass Q-tips. And because I work with paper towel, I just throw everything into the paper towel. Because my garbage can is a little ways away, so I can just tuck that off to the side. It's good. There's not a whole bunch of crap on the desk, which is what we want. Okay, so we're going to go with reattaching our heatsink. First part of that is getting that guy down. Second part, booyah, like that. Okay, we need the two bigger screws. These are Phillips or the Star. And this is the same as all heat sinks or clamps. You don't ever want to just like jam down the one side and then jam down the other side, because what you're doing underneath is you're like smashing that processor or APU or whatever you want to call it into the heatsink way harder on one side. It's nicer to the whole thing to just be gentle pressure on both sides. Okay, you can go ahead and throw that guy on. These guys can go on. One, and come on, baby. Why are you being a pain? Go in. And there we go. Okay, we're going to want to put the big cable in. Make sure you press it in all the way. You should see that little bracket kind of push in, and then it'll settle. This one can be a bit of a challenge. There's not much to grab, but if you just grab the plastic, use the plastic to push it in. Done.
Everybody get down when we give it to you.
Throw your hands in the air.
Let's get this thing quickly tested, and then I can put the covers back on. HDMI port feels fantastic. Oh boy, that's not what I meant to do. Oh well. All right, I'll give it a little bit of power. Yes, sir. Okay, I'm just gonna switch over to my monitor. Okay, this is an HD monitor I have here, or sorry, a 4K. So I don't got to do any messing around like some of those other guys. They're HDP. Okay, so let me loosen this so I can. There we go. That wasn't too bad of a pause. Okay, we're good. We're back. Okay, so where was I? Yes, I was about to fire this thing up. Okay, so here we go. One beep. We're getting blue light. Blue light, blue light, blue light. Come on, baby. White light. Oh, am I on the right input? Oh, what did I do? Oh, I'm on the wrong input. Oh, jeez. That gave me a heart attack for a second. Jesus. There it is. All right, so it's all good. I'm going to have to plug a controller in and everything, but we'll get the case and everything back on it. Everything's good. As you can see, it's white light, and I do have an image on the screen, so this PlayStation 5 is fixed 100%, and that kid is going to be super freaking happy. I know it, because, man, I swear, it was like, I don't even know how to explain it. It was like he was handing me his puppy dog or something. Like, he's really upset it was broken. So, anyways, it's all good. Thanks for joining me on this one, guys, and I will definitely see you in the next one. Peace.